Hi everybody, Kevin here. We're back with more Gundam card game related content. This time we're going to play a little bit of challenge, right? Is it possible to make a working, viable deck that's somewhat meta using only the cards from the booster pack? I know a lot of local game stores have been restocking product, but around my area, unless you want to pay an arm and a leg, it's almost impossible for you to get starter decks, and especially the Grandpa Gundam and Aerial one, right? ST01. One store around me is charging $65 for just the deck. Just the deck, right? Not even the assemble one. $65. That's so insane. That's incredible. And I hope to go out of business. Because that's messed up. I don't understand the market prices. I don't know. That place at your local game store is selling $65 for a starter deck. Whatever. Don't bother supporting them. That's crazy to me. But anyways, we're not here to try to poo-poo local game stores. Instead, I'm trying to help you guys a solid. If you're able to get booster packs from Target at like affordable prices, and you have some cards lying around and you want to make some kind of deck, but you're not able to get starter cards and you don't want to buy it on TCG Player for some reason, but here we go. All right, so I thought, you can't replace things. Obviously you can't replace Amuro because he's the best blue pilot in the game at the moment. Being able to rest units, it's extremely important, meaning because you can attack them. Also, Grandpa Gundam is the best unit in the game at the moment for overall value wise, because having repair 2 means you can bop stuff that are blockers like Lifrith for free, essentially, because that's repair 2, right? And then also remember that certain cards are very, very strong in the starter deck that you can probably replace with certain cards here. Like, first thing off the top of my head is that instead of playing the Palau, you could play Sayla, which is from the Gundam Seed starter deck, which I think is a little bit more accessible, but it's probably like up there in terms of like how difficult it is to get, and in terms of popularity as well. So we're trying to go here for just only New Type Rising. And also, since we're not playing Grandpa Gundam, there's no way you can replace that. The closest equivalent, really, and also very good against the mirror, if you play a lot of ping as well, is Delta Plus, because it gains repair 1, right? And also it has HP plus 1. So you can already consider this to be like a 4-4 for 4-3, right? 4-4 means stats are incredible, and also being linkable means you can link something like Sayla, because remember Sayla, she has repair 1, so like that's kind of similar to the ability of Grandpa Gundam, being able to repair 2. And also the alternate you could use instead of Sayla as well as we play one Riddhe. Honestly, you don't have to play him, but I just like playing maybe around like 8 to 10 is the sweet spot most people have considered. Where I like to play Riddhe as an extra one because it also has repair, and then, or while this unit has repair, it has plus 1 AP. So that means you can turn Delta Plus basically into like a, almost like a 6. Basically a 6, yeah, because then you add Riddhe and then that becomes like a 6-4. That's pretty good for like a 4-3. Remember, you gotta think of Gundam and playing like a red-blue Cyber New Type ping deck in a sense of like early game, right? You want to control the board, play aggressive, and that's one way you can do it. And of course, Marida, best girl at the game at the moment. Amazing alt art, love it. Great stats as well. And able to ping things means you can do tiny damage. Obviously, it adds up, and it's gonna start counting up for your opponent. Especially meaning you can make easy trades with it, with low value stuff like Zaku Mariner, even Guntanks, right? Maybe your opponent needs just 1 more health, you just trade it with Guntank, and then you get rid of the big boss monster, you still got your big boss monster, right? That's how it works. The only expensive card you can that you kind of have to play, in my opinion, you kind of play something like this, is Kshatriya. But at the moment, I believe it's around like under $20. Because Kshatriya, you know, it's a lot of variables of why it's expensive, but obviously a waifu kind of related Gundam slash mobile suit. It also looks really cool in my opinion, and it has like being able the ability to ping things, so that's also why it's essential in a lot of like Cyber New Type red blue esque decks. So there you go, Marida. It's the things that stay the same, right? And also with Unicorn, the Banshee version is able to recycle your cards if you're able to get that far, which ideally, you know, either you're winning or you're losing, because most of these units should hopefully be like traded, or if it comes to that kind of situation, you're able to recycle and you get first strike. When you get first strike, you're able to attack again, and then have double attack, and that essentially should almost close out your game. So there you go. we're playing Battle of Aces because it's the closest equivalent to a close combat. If you can get close combat, that's also a great option as well. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on how risky, or if you want to play that, like, you know, coin flip-esque thing where sometimes it's just a dead card in your hand because it needs to have a damaged enemy first. But if you're playing aggressively with Marida and also like Kshatriya, you should at least ping something like once, right? So there you go. And then finally, of course, show resolve. This could be a flex spot. It's draw cards. I don't think draw cards are that imperative or important in this kind of deck, but it's also an option. Other alternate cards you should be aware of that I thought about as well while making this deck is that, for example, you could play something like Z Zulu. Where is Z Zulu? This one. It gains +2 AP if you're attacking the enemy player. So remember, the ruling is that if you're declaring attack on enemy player, like the base or shield or whatever, it gains the +2, but if they call a blocker, it still has it, because the condition for it to have the +2 AP is during attacking the enemy player, right? The condition is met, and so your opponent, since it had blockers or whatever happens after the attack declaration, the target is changed, but the condition for the effect has already been fulfilled, if that makes sense. So don't get screwed on that ruling. Remember that. And then also another option you could think about as well in a similar mindset is Xeno. Similar ruling to that, that if you're attacking something with first strike that's level 2 or lower, it gains first strike, but then obviously if it switches to a blocker that's level higher, then it does not have first strike. So because remember, reading is important, especially in children's card game like Yu-Gi-Oh, where battling an enemy unit that is level 2 or lower. Since it's not attacking something that's a level 2 or lower, it does not gain first strike. Remember that. Other cards you could also consider as well. I mean, if you're playing a lot of aggressive decks, Bellara Custom is a very underrated card, because while it has your enemy has 4 or more enemy units in play, it gains blocker. That could come up, right? Having a random blocker in a blue deck, especially since blue is not known to be blockers. That's white at the moment. So you have a random blocker in your deck, you're like, whoa. Caught people off guard. And then of course, you could play, you know, Banshee like unicorn mode, because it's able to get that Amuro-esque effect where you're able to rest something. And also get the ping off from Marida, right? That's another option you could play as well. But those are some things you can think about if you want to have flex spots. So flex spots could be like a Riddhe, and then the command cards, right? The rest of it I think is pretty straightforward. If you're able to get GMs, you'll get more value out of Grandpa Gundam from the booster pack, because the first effect is that all your white base team units gain repair 1, so that comes up with GMs. Other than that, let's take a look at this deck in action. We'll take it to wing table right now. All right, we're back now at wing table AI. We're doing this fresh. Now, a lot of people obviously, I think, not ask me, but I feel like, you know, talking to the internet and just telling people, what do you mulligan for, right? That's another underrated part of Gundam I think a lot of people don't talk about too much. When you mulligan, you should ideally mulligan for something that's like playable on your initial first or second turn. And of course, if you can try to mulligan for at least 1 pilot. If you have something like I do right now with like 2 Ankshas, you probably want to mulligan. We have nothing playable until like turn 3. That's very bad, especially if we're playing against an aggressive deck. So we're gonna mulligan this, hope for the best. We'll hopefully try to finish this game off quick. This is somewhat more playable. We have Kshatriya, that's always great. We got a 1 pilot. You know, it's not, oh, that's not great. We pull it to the third one. So we just end turn, cool. I also wish that, you know, the AI for wing table would be slightly better, but I believe you have to pay up for that. And then we're trying to be budget conscious here. You know what, we're doing so bad, I'm just gonna go YOLO it. I remember sometimes it comes to that, you just add shield to hand. Do we get something play? Oh, we got another shield. I'm gonna leave it in this, gang. I'm not gonna do fake news for y'all. We're gonna see if this deck is viable or not. Live. We're not gonna try to like do fake news here. What do we get? We got another Marida. Hey, we're starting to get something playable. Alright, here we go. Do we want to play anything else? We could risk it for the mining Asteroid Palau, but we might want to just tell them to just waste their, you know, attack into this one, and so maybe we get some value out of that. I know some people just like to hold on to pilots so they can link stuff, but you know, ideally how I like to play is that you should try to link 1 pilot the moment they're active to anything, if you can, right? So that's pretty much how we expected. You have Akira. That's how the AI is playing. That's how we should play as well. Now it's a good time to get value out of this. Do we get anything good? Alright, we're gonna play our Palau. I'm gonna get this. We could play a Marida and then probably trade. That is absolutely an option, and I think I'll do that because then, you know, we have a Marida in our hand as well. If they bop this, that's also really bad for us, so I'm willing to trade with that. So remember, you gotta think about trades as well. Let's hope they don't have anything in their hand. They have 0 HP, that's fine. We're thinking in terms of value. We're thinking in terms of value. You got rid of Akira. I think that's obviously a great trade. And then we'll play one Guntank. Guncannon. Notice we have not drawn any pings or any of the level 2 monsters that we want. Uh-oh, that has a link. That's bad. But hey, that 1 HP came up, so there you go. Luckily, this is only 3 HP, so we're able to knock it out relatively easily. Let's see, what can we do? We can play the ping. We'll probably play the ping game. I think that's okay. Link with Marida. Obviously, you want to get value out of Marida by having more monsters, but I think now is a good time to play aggressively a little bit. We'll trade with this because remember that's how the ping comes up. I think a Guncannon or Guntank for something that's level 4 is fine. We got the value out of it, right? Now I also know that I could have just attacked, do ping 1, and then wait for your opponent to do that, but we're gonna take the aggressive. And now is a good time to just get rid of the base, right? Here we go. That's what's fun about Gundam, right? I mean, any one of those plays I think could have been viable, like I just mentioned, but we're gonna play a little aggressive and see how it works. Considering our hand is kind of like mid. But now obviously we're getting to the late game, it's gonna start mattering. Uh-oh. Okay, AI is dumb. Personally, I think I would have just bopped the thing, because that's how you usually would play like a Freedom Blocker, Gundam Unicorn kind of deck. Just get rid of units. Okay. We're getting there, we're getting there. Now we have 6, right? What's the good option? We could play this, and get like another draw. Play our Guncannon, that's also another option. Play another Kshatriya. If we play Kshatriya, that means we can play only Guncannon. It's better to have Delta Plus and that. I think it's better to have Delta Pluses, right? We want to save these in general. Or we could play, let's see, 2, 5. No, we don't have enough yet. So it's better to play Delta Plus and Grandpa Gundam, or Delta Plus and then Guncannon. I think it's obviously better to play higher units at the moment, right? So we'll do that. Might as well. We know they're playing white, so there's nothing to be stupid. We're like close combat. That's another thing you need to be aware of. So we're gonna YOLO attack this and just leave that alone. Don't even bother with it. Go for shield. We're gonna go ping. Ping, ping, ping. Ping, 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 ping. Oh, we got rid of that? Okay. We'll play Grandpa Gundam. Why not? Grandpa Gundam. Here we go. You got Unicorn? You have Banshee. Oh no. Oh no. They're gonna bounce back one of those? Sure. Okay, Delta Plus. Not too bad. We do 5. We'll trade with that. It's fine. We got rid of like 2 shields with that. That's okay. We get rid of our shield. Oh, burst effect, lucky. Hey, here's the time it starts coming up, right? Alright, we drew that. Let's get our units on board. So we'll play Sayla with that. That means it's 5-5. We could play another unit, right? Or do we draw? There's how decision making works. So far, these two kind of don't do anything, so I'm just gonna go for the draw, see if we can get a pilot. Hopefully we get a pilot, ideally. Okay, we got those. That's not bad either for our next turn. Right now, I could trade for Unicorn. They could pitch for that, or completely just go for face and shields. I think since we're down to 3, we probably should just trade for that, right? I think that would be a somewhat equal trade, but at the same time, we play aggressive and get rid of it. And see future, that's also another option as well. So, you know what? We're gonna YOLO. We're gonna go for shield, go for face. Don't even bother. Here we go. Boop. Okay, 1 the first. We get this one. Let's see. Just gonna put pressure on her shields. Okay, another one. Wow. Yeah, I forgot to shuffle. No, just kidding. All right, they're level 7. You got the unicorn. There we go, unicorn. You got Banshee. Means they can rest. That's so good. That's why we play it, right? Oh no. Yeah, I play that. Hey, we got a pinger, and it's good. Guntank, come on. Banshee. Okay. Ooh, big boy. He's a very big monster. That's scary. Okay, we got that. That's not bad either. You gotta play Marida. Why? Because you repair it, ping dust, you get rid of that. And ping that one too as well. That's how you get value. They could do the Banshee effect, which I don't think they're gonna do with AI. Let's play... Well, here are options, right? You could play Grandpa Gundam to just do there. We could also play ReZEL and Zaku, which means we have additional units as well. And then probably get rid of this if they decide to trade for that. Which now down to 1 card, you know, that's not a bad option as well. So, you know, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go for face, and if they decide to trade, so be it. Because this is obviously gonna be way worse on our turn, or their turn. Because remember, Kira can do the -2, or well, it's not Kira actually. JK. I'll just manage it. That's whatever. We're gonna go for face. We'll see if they block. And do ping anyway, so see what happens. They choose to block. Okay, we're gonna trade. That's fine with me. We're down to like 1 card. We're gonna play Zaku, and we're gonna play ReZEL. There you go, 2. And they're down to 1 card. We got like 4. We're good. Okay, Freedom Gundam is scary. That's very scary. Very no good. Freedom Gundam is bad. Alright, we drew another Marida. Okay, that's not bad as well. We're gonna see how they decide to block. Ideally, I mean, do you get rid of the Mariner or do you get rid of the ReZEL? Depending on what they do, I would be willing to trade, and then they're down to nothing as well. But at the same time, you could do like ping, but then the ping be able to do 2, right? So that could come up as well. So I think the option is to attack with ReZEL, right? Because if you attack with ReZEL, let's say that doesn't go through because they'll block it. They're down to 4-2. You trade with that, or you summon Marida, being able to ping it for 1 and attack since it's not blockable. You get rid of it and you still get 2 bodies on board instead of trading 2 for 1, right? So that's how we should do it probably. Let's attack and see what happens if the AI decides to block. That's another. They do decide to block. Oh, and they have that. Well, that's no good. Never pay attention, gang. There you go. I know people in the comments are probably shouting, Kevin, no! Watch out! Okay, we're gonna pair with Marida, yeah. That's good. That's the only one we can do. So they're down to 2. We want to just ignore this completely. So we're gonna attack with Zaku. Let's see what happens. Please don't have a base. Wah wah, you lose. That's fine. We get rid of this. And then we ping this. No, we can't ping it because remember, level 7. JK. I'm learning. And let's put a double of this so they can only block 1. And we should win the next game. Yeah, it's a learning experience for all of us, right? Oh, we got 2 blockers. Wah wah. Okay, but we should close it out anyways. Let's attack. Well, let's say they attack with this one, they'll block 1. We attack with another one, they have no blockers left, so I don't think it really matters here. Approach to this at all, but you know, we'll play it out. Usually, you always go for lowest to highest. If I remember, you know, normal, like game logic. There you go. They have to block that. There you go. That's fine with me. Let's attack with the lowest one. Please do not have a base. We don't have a base, so but we win anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Let's get rid of that, and then we could have pinged with the Anksha anyway, so it doesn't matter. There you go. It kind of works, right? Hopefully, this has been somewhat of a relative experience for you, that you can make a viable deck using just the cards from the booster pack. I'm sure there are plenty of other decks that people came up with that are budget friendly and uses like cheap cards from the starters, but if for some reason you cannot get the starters, you refuse to get cards online because I guess you live in the middle of nowhere or something and you only are able to access packs from boosters and stuff, there you go. You can technically play Cyber New type ping, albeit a very jank one, but it kind of works against freedom blockers, unicorn blockers. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, please leave a like, comment, sub, all of that fun stuff. Hopefully we can get to you know, 200 subs. Let's say 200 subs. That's the next milestone in the foreseeable future. So anyways, see you guys around. Bye bye.